please don't be concerned or daunted by the fact that I'm carrying some papers with me or a computer. The principle of speaking to public anywhere is, especially in courts or for lawyers now, for me especially, is be brief, be bold, and be gone. That's in today's, as you've commanded. After the brilliant speech by a brilliant perspective of lawyers and arbitrators from the Middle East and people from different cultures, it is true what he says, and I fully agree with the manner he said it. There was no aggression in what he said. I'm not making a commentary, but look at the beauty with which he conveyed it. We, fortunately in India, Mr. Hussain, we have people for a huge subcontinent. We have different types of cultures, if I may say, in the south and the north and the east. And so we have a fabulous melange of people coming from different backgrounds, and we are used to that. Some aggressive, some polite. So in the court, it was always to counsel, at least I followed that. Do you want me to hear you, or do you want me to listen to you? In arbitration, there's no space for theater or theatrics. You're there to persuade the mind to see your point of view. And largely, actually, the papers speak for themselves if there's no oral evidence. So I think lawyers from here and people who've been on the bench or who've done adjudication, they are fairly used to these things. It's people who are otherwise not exposed to much wider cultures, much more accommodative cultures. And you mentioned some of those who are facing, who feel out of place. In fact, they're having difficulty in having those protests as of yesterday. So, having said that, how do we resolve cross-border disputes? And I'll come to the Act itself, which is being talked about here. And very briefly, in about 10 sentences, this MSME Act of 2006, 20 years ago, it's a brilliant act, truly brilliant. It empowers those who are not so strong to face the larger players in the industry and the economy. You know, a figure on the internet said that roughly 10.7 lakh crores is money stuck in delayed payments. Now ask yourself as a businessman, the average cost of finance, cost of borrowing of money is 10 rupees or 10% or 14%. 10% निकाल के देखिए कितना होता है 10 लाख 11 लाख करोड़ का 1,10,000 crore annually. Sorry, Mr. Hussain, I lapse into Hindustani. Okay, so I do normally lapse into Hindustani. It makes it more conversational. Fantastic, thank you. So look at the figures, and who are the ones who are suffering in this if their money is delayed? The ones who have set up a unit for, say, 2.5 crores with a turnover of up to 10 crores. That's a micro. Then you come to a small and you come to the medium. Maximum it's up to 500 crores the turnover and with 125 crores investment. This segment of our economy is the backbone, especially for India. It's for other countries as well, but for India, this is the most important. And they are the ones who often run into trouble. And that's where lawyers and legal experts have to hold their hand and steer them. ऐसे कर सकते हैं. Let's move this way. The Act actually empowers them in many ways. If you don't pay the money within 45 days, you have to pay thrice the RBI rate. Any sensible person will say, भैया पैसा दे दो 3 गुना पे सिर्फ interest देना पड़ेगा. And within 45 days, if you don't do that, you go to the facilitation center. 15 दिन में नहीं हुआ, you're going to go into arbitration. But the arbitrator will keep in mind that statutorily there are 3 times interest देना पड़ेगा. उसी में सारा किस्सा खत्म हो गया. Yet, despite all this, look at the figures that the Samadhan portal has to speak about. Just let me read the figures. As of last year, or latest figures, 96,560 cases were filed, and they're on the portal. The value is 27,000, say 28,000 crores. It's the value of those cases. How many cases were disposed of in the last few years? 50,000 cases. but this one still remains for a value of approximately 8,000 crores. So how many applications were filed? 2.5 lakh crore rupees. 2.5 lakh crore applications were filed. See the amount of disquiet there is within the industry. These are figures for lawyers to think about. For a center like this to be actually looking forward, going ahead and saying, look here, we are here to assist you. Most of the time, these small players, they don't know the powers that they've been enabled by a particular act. The person who owes you money cannot show the interest as business expense. Uski जेब से जाएगा वो पैसा. If there's an arbitral award or a settlement which will be deemed as an award, you have to then deposit 75% of that money before you go under Section 34. There's no appeal, unlike the other ones. So there's special protection for this. The Supreme Court says that, look here, this act will prevail over the Arbitration Act. These are small things, but it's so empowering for the person. कई बार लोगों को मालूम नहीं है इसके बारे में. मैं इसमें ज़्यादा कहने को, सबको मालूम है कि इस एक्ट में क्या लिखा है, लेकिन फ़र्ज़ कीजिए कोई एक आप सप्लायर है हिंदुस्तान से, आपने यूएई में सप्लाई किया, आपको अवार्ड मिल गया. How will you enforce it? That's my biggest concern today. Enforcement of that. Because you're the supplier, the jurisdiction is here, from the supplier's place of work. How will you enforce that? That's where I think Tariq will speak about that. The other way around, India में तो पैसे जमा करना पड़ेगा उसको. These are a couple of issues which we will have to ponder over, but otherwise I think you people know what there is to be. इतना सारा कितना लिखा हुआ है, क्या पढ़ के बताऊँ आपको. But सच्चाई, at the end of the day, you know what arbitration is all about, how it is to be done. I'm giving you the figures that there's so much work to be done. Any economy whose money is delayed, this money of approximately 11 lakh crores should have been in the stream of commerce. That is pulling you back. Let me give you another figure. Just bear this in mind. This is only delayed payments. When on the bench, I had occasion to look at some cases about the recovery of monies. Let's put it very small, politely. The monies held up in those four fora was roughly 5 lakh crores for the last 7 to 10 years. पैसा ही नहीं निकल रहा है. Just imagine 5 lakh crores just in the Delhi region. कितना पैसा फंसा हुआ है. That money should have been in the stream of commerce. So there is so much scope for all of us to work in this arbitration field. Once the matter, I'll give you an example. The Facilitation Council referred a matter to the DIAC, came forward, and within no time the matter got resolved. Very often an arbitrator can see that this matter is resolvable, and at the back of the mind for the person who has to pay, he knows, that entity knows fully well, कि मेरा this 3 times the interest is there on my head, plus there'll be other costs, so we better settle it. Ordinarily it gets settled. Unless somebody who's a very aggressive type person, like the counsel Mr. Hussain spoke about, कि नहीं हम ही सच है, हम ही सही है. Here the law is with you. Here the law, and the lawyer has to just gently nudge the person, आप जरा रास्ते पे आ जाइए. That's the matter where it gets settled. Thank you very much.